Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Michelle Ibarrientos with us making simple Filipino-inspired healthy dishes. Today, we're making a low-carb twist on party favorites, including Pancit Zihon and garlic shrimp. We are cooking with some of the best chefs right here in our own community. So grab a seat, sit back. We've got another awesome menu coming at you in under 30 minutes. This is your Community Cooking. Hello and welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Kirk Leins, and in our kitchen today is my friend and chef, Michelle Ibarrientos.
Hi, Kirk.
Hi, welcome back again.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I know, likewise. I always love having you here because you bring sort of a different twist. You have sort of a healthy twist on traditional Filipino meals, correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that. What got you into that?
Well, I've been on a low-carb diet for a while now
Okay.
because diabetes runs in the family, and
Oh,
I was
okay.
told to just keep everything low-carb, and I can get good carbs from the vegetables.
Right,
that
so
I
you
cook.
didn't want to give up the dishes you grew up loving, but you
Right.
just found a way to make this happen. And I know that you substitute a lot of cuts of meat with lean cuts as opposed to the fattier cuts, and obviously tons of veggies.
Yes, tons of veggies, and they're really filling and nutritious as well. So.
Yeah, great. Well, today, our first dish is a Pancit Zihon. Now, traditionally, it's Pancit Bihon,
Correct.
right? And that Bihon, that's the rice noodle.
The rice noodles, sometimes, it's made with cornstarch as well,
Okay?
but those are pretty much on the high-carb side of things.
Right, so you substitute that with zucchini noodles. And that's
Yes.
where the Zihon comes
Yes,
in. Okay,
yes.
so just, making it clear that we're not mispronouncing any words here, that this is very intentional and very delicious, and we'll get to that in a sec. And then you've also got a garlic shrimp. This is meant to be eaten together?
Yes, it does. And whenever we make pancit, we add some seafood to it. In this dish, I'm going to be adding shrimp.
Beautiful, great. Well, we're going to get started with the Pancit Zihon, so why don't you run us through the ingredients?
So we have here already spiraled zucchini, but I'll show you how to spiral one up.
Okay.
And then we have onions, bell peppers, carrots. We have the extra virgin olive oil, annatto seed powder, garlic, green onion, and lemon to squeeze over later on. And we have here coconut aminos and a little bit of fish sauce.
Well, we've got a lot of interesting ingredients here. We'll get to them one at a time. Let's start off with what you've done to these zucchinis. Now, you don't have to watch a lot of food TV to know that spiraling zucchinis and using them as noodles has become kind of like a trendy thing to do.
It is. It's like eating noodles. It's a fun way to eat noodles too.
Right. Well, here's the thing. It's like I think for people who've never done it, might look at it and go, it's not noodles. Try this, because it is really delicious. And there's so many applications you could do. An Italian application with it. You can do other Asian ethnicities, Chinese noodles with it. But so you're doing the pancit with it.
Yes, I am.
All right, and you said you were going to show me how to do this. I know typically you need a device. Is that what we have here?
Yes, it's my spiralizer, and it's compact. There's different kinds of spiralizers.
Typically, what I'm used to is the one that you sit on the ground and you hand crank it. But here, get us started.
This
Show me what
nice and compact, and
Okay.
I take this to work sometimes too. And I just make my salads there.
you take it to work.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you got an extra one for the car? For the glove box? For the car?
Yeah. How'd you know? So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and hold it like this and this way.
And turn the
just turn
zucchini
it.
as
Yes.
opposed to turning that.
Right.
And look what we get.
You get spiral zucchini, and I just pull it a little bit, and then just so that it's not going to get too long.
I was going to say, because if you keep going with this, you can make it as long as...
Right.
Yeah.
And in my experience, it's better to just cut as you go as opposed to waiting at the end, because then you'll end up getting a tangled mess of zucchini.
Right.
So just pull it like that, and just keep on going. Do you want to give it a try?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. This looks fun.
It's pretty fun.
So here we go.
It's pretty easy.
Easy peasy. Easy.
And just push it in. And
yeah, you do
go.
got to keep applying a little bit of pressure to
Yes.
it. But, you know, will you pick one of these up for 10, 12 bucks?
Yeah, less than that even for this.
You know, either at a cooking store, you can probably find them online. And this is a really good way to lighten up any sort of pasta dish.
It is.
And you
Or
know what?
even
If you don't
salads,
think
you
your
know.
kids or your family are going to be sold on the idea of serving zucchini noodles, try it.
Oh,
Try
once
it.
it gets close to the blade, you want
Okay.
to just kind of pull this out a little bit.
Okay.
And you see this little end right here?
Yeah.
What I do is I just pull it out, and I can just use that like stir
Chop it
fry,
up,
chop it
right.
up, you know, and then just stick this one in because you don't want to get cut.
Oh, yeah. Those are some sharp blades in there.
And
Okay,
then
I
just
got
push
you.
it in just like that, and just use it just as a
Same
guide.
thing. Awesome.
I call it skin protector.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, they're little blades that are inside there, but the reason that this is moving around so easily is because those little blades are very sharp. And look at that. There we go.
There it is.
There we go. Done. Easy. Easy
Yes.
cleanup. Sounds like we're doing an infomercial here. No, this is great. This is a really, really great idea. Great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so let's start on the pancit.
Okay.
What's our first step here?
The first thing we're going to do is heat up the oil. The
Okay.
the pot's already hot, so I'm just going to add
And that's
some
just
oil.
what, about a tablespoon?
Yes, a tablespoon of oil.
Like
you don't
nothing.
Need a
It's
lot.
extra virgin olive oil. so,
Yes,
right?
it's healthy fat.
Okay.
So it's okay. And then some of the Annatto Seed.
All right, well, that's our
powder.
first interesting ingredient. And you know, you've been here before, and you've brought that before. I know you love cooking with Annatto Seed, and it gives everything such a beautiful, bright color. It'll either turn it, depending on how much you use, it'll either turn it yellow or red.
Right.
And you see it a lot in both Filipino cooking as well as Mexican cooking.
Yes, and I believe in Caribbean cooking as well.
Okay, makes sense. And then it does bring some flavor to the party. It's not just all for appearance. It's got sort of kind of a like earthy quality to it.
It sure does, and it brings that extra flavor to the dish.
Right.
Different level of flavor.
Now you just added your garlic.
And yes, I add my garlic, and then I'm going to add the onions.
Okay. And you know, this is one of those dishes where there's certain flavors that are going to need to be in here, but in terms of your veggies, you could probably mix that up. And in terms of amounts, it's very forgiving as well, correct? Or ratios.
Yes, yes. You know, it's totally depending on like what you like. If you want to add more carrots, you know, or bell peppers, by all means, it's totally
Right.
up to you.
Right, okay.
So
Because pancit is like, I mean, that is an iconic Filipino dish.
it is, and you'll see that in every party.
Every party.
Every party.
Every party.
Every Filipino party. Not every party in this whole world.
Well,
but
right. I mean, but it's like, it's a sacrilege not to have that there.
especially for birthdays.
And there's judgment that takes place on how good the pancit is, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I am very familiar with that as well. Because it's like going to an Italian family and having a different sauce. It's like everybody makes their sauce a little differently, or their pancit, or their adobo, or whatever it is, right? So,
Right.
yeah, very good. So you now have the onions, and you're just softening those, correct?
Yes, softening those, and once they're softened, you can go ahead and add the carrots. And the reason why I'm adding the carrots first is because they take a little longer to cook,
Okay,
and I don't want to add these ingredients all at the same time.
gotcha.
So I'm going to just let this cook, and because the carrots were thinly sliced and spiralized, they'll cook pretty quickly.
You know what I like about this? This is a very, very quick meal to make. What's going to take the most of your time on this are prepping your veggies.
It is.
But what if you prepped all these veggies like on a weekend and just put them in sealable bags
Yeah, it's perfect.
and kept them in your fridge? You could literally have, and I'm not kidding you, literally have dinner on the table in about 10 minutes.
Yes. It took me probably about like less than 5 minutes just for this. But if I were to slice it myself, it would take me probably like an hour.
Right, but if you did it on the weekend
Oh,
when you
yeah.
had time and just bagged it up and knew that you were going to eat that maybe a couple times during the week, because who wouldn't want to eat this like a couple times during the week? You could literally have dinner on the table in 10 minutes.
I know, I love that idea. I'll definitely do that.
Well, us with children especially, right?
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, you know, it's like, that's always the trick.
It is.
Are your kids school age?
Yes, they are.
So it's the homework, dinner, shower routine. Yep, I get it.
Yes, bedtime stories.
Uh-huh.
So I just added the red bell pepper that was
Alright.
thinly sliced, and I'm going ahead and add the zucchini.
And then you're just going to put like a light saute on these zucchini. But like if you were doing it I've also seen where you can like kind of sort of just sort of parboil it real quickly too. Like if you're doing it with just like maybe some pasta sauce on top.
Oh yeah, you can do that as well.
But this is all going into the same pot and doing the same thing, so why not?
Yes, and
It smells great.
one of the reasons why, thank you. One of the reasons why I put the seasoning at the end is because the salt draws out a lot of the moisture from the vegetables.
Very good point. You're absolutely right. Salt does that to pretty much everything. So if you put it in too early in the process, a little bit too watery is what you're saying.
Yes.
So by adding your sodium at the end, you get a proper amount of seasoning, but not making the dish a watery one.
Yes, and not covering it. I noticed that, like, even when I cover it, you know, it gets really watery quickly.
It's all water content.
Yes.
Yeah, they're veggies.
And I end up getting soup. No.
No, we don't want soup. We want Pancit Zihon.
Yes, and how you want it cooked, like how long you want it cooked, totally depends on you. I like it like more on the soft side, like as if I'm eating noodles.
Okay. All right.
So that's almost done, and I'm gonna go ahead and.
It looks beautiful. Are you gonna
Thank
add
you.
the?
Yes.
Okay, so here we've got our coconut aminos, which is something else you also like using a lot of.
Yes, instead of soy sauce, and it's a good alternative to for those who want to avoid soy or can't have soy.
Or also gluten, because a lot of soy sauces have gluten in them as well.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and just pour this in just like that. And then the fish sauce, just a little bit.
Now, let's talk about fish sauce. I mean, anybody of Asian ethnicity is familiar with this. Some people aren't. Basically, the only way I can really describe it is it's sort of the Asian version of a Worcestershire sauce, but fermented and a little funkier.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Am I close?
Yes,
because it's sort of adding a salty sort of quality to it, but there's also that what the Japanese would refer to as umami, where there's that savoriness that's coming from the fish that is in that sauce.
Yes, and it will not make the dish fishy at all.
No, and that's the other thing I think we need to say is that when if you buy your first bottle of fish sauce and you open it up and you give it a whiff, don't think that that's what the dish is going to taste like. The smell and the taste, two different things, right?
Right.
Okay, great. So we're at a point now where we're pretty much done, right?
Yes, we're done.
What do you say we plate that up and get cleaned up, get ready for our garlic shrimp, and take a break?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll see you back here in 60 seconds.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
Welcome back to Community Cooking. With me today is Michelle Ibarrientos, and we are making healthy versions of classic Filipino dishes, correct?
Correct.
Now, here is your healthy version of Pancit Bihon. We're calling it Pancit Zihon because we have replaced the rice noodles with zucchini noodles. And look at how beautiful that looks. I mean, that is really a nice dish. And, you know, all we've done here is sort of just garnished with a little bit of green onion. And the lemon wedges, you say you like to serve it with lemon wedges and everyone gets like a sort of a squirt of lemon.
Yes, it adds some freshness to the dish, especially if you have seafood.
Right. That is a beautiful plate of food right there. I'm salivating just as I'm talking about it. But we've got another dish to make, though. So we're going to do just that.
Okay.
We're going to make your version of garlic shrimp. So why don't you run us through the ingredients?
So we have simple ingredients here, just the shrimp, a coconut oil, extra virgin coconut oil, some sea salt and granulated garlic, and fresh garlic.
Okay, so you doubled up on the garlic here.
Yes.
Okay, now a couple of things. So first off, let's talk about the coconut oil. I think probably at this point, a lot of people know about coconut oil. Really, really healthy cooking oil.
It is. You know, I like to use it in certain dishes, you know, and even in oatmeal too.
Pancakes.
Yes, pancakes.
Awesome. Well, and the thing is what you should know is it does lend a little bit of coconut flavor to the dish. So if that's not something that you see as a part of, you know, maybe like if you're making a steak, you might want to stay away from the coconut oil. It might not be exactly what you want. But with shrimp or, you know, French toast or something along those lines, delicious.
It is.
And very, very healthy for you, too.
Yeah, it is.
Also, multi-purpose. You can use this as like lip balm. It's like for your hair, for
skin.
Right, really good stuff. And then with our shrimp here, I've noticed that you've butterflied the shrimp already.
I did.
And why do you do that?
To make it cook faster, and as it cooks, it's going to curl up, and I'll show you how it'll look like.
And if you're not familiar with the term, all we've done with butterflying is she's taken the shell off, run a knife down the back to remove that vein of yuckiness, and then just sort of open it up, and it lies flat. And it does it when it cooks up. It kind of curls up nicer.
It does, yeah.
And I think it has a better texture to it, a nicer texture. It's a lot easier to. Sometimes they kind of can overcook very quickly. They go from perfectly cooked to overcooked when they're not butterflied. Butterfly, it's I think a little bit easier to tell.
It is, especially for thick shrimps, like the jumbo shrimps.
Yes,
or the large
yeah, the bigger the
shrimps.
shrimp, the harder. Okay, what do you say we get started?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the coconut oil in.
Yes, here you go.
Thank
We got a
you.
nice warm pan here.
It's warm enough. And I like using coconut oil in certain dishes too because it has a high burning point.
And if you notice, that oil was it was solid, almost kind of like if you were going to use a shortening. But at a certain point, so sometimes in the summertime, I'll notice that my coconut oil is actually liquid when it's in the cupboard because it's warmer in my kitchen. And then in the wintertime, it's solid. Don't let that freak you out. It can go back and forth just fine.
Yes.
But see how quickly, now it's
Yeah,
oil.
it's oil. So now the next thing I want to do is add the garlic.
Okay. Do we need to put dredge our shrimp at all?
Yes. So while this is cooking, while the garlic
right
is
on this
softening.
plate here. What do you say?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So this is cooked pretty quickly. You can just like quickly add that. And the reason why I like to add the garlic powder to it is so that it'll give it a nice crust. And add some black pepper. I'll add black pepper.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Because I just got
Okay.
shrimp hands.
Some black pepper to it, just like that.
All right.
Pretty simple.
And then in it goes.
Yes. So I pulled this one away because I don't want the garlic to burn.
Yeah, and it's nice and toasty right now, but you let
Yes.
that go any further, and yeah.
So I'm going to put the shrimp a little bit one at a time. So if I put the shrimp all together, we'll get boiled shrimp. We don't want that.
No. Yeah, and you're going to get a couple different sort of levels of garlic here. You're going to get that granulated garlic and that chopped garlic.
Yeah, so we want to have like a little bit of crunch from the garlic. I just love biting into fried garlic.
I know,
It's
right?
so good.
And it's so easy to cook shrimp. I mean, I'd say the easiest thing that I could tell you at home is once it goes from being translucent or somewhat see-through to opaque or kind of white, you're done.
Right.
You're done. Get it off the heat. Otherwise, you're going to have overcooked sort of rubbery shrimp.
Yeah, you don't want that. So I'm going to just cook this a little bit until it turns, they're actually turning orange.
Yep, the one side, and you know it's time to flip it. There you go.
Yeah. That.
I love shrimp too. Delicious, right?
Yeah, so good.
And we're so lucky living in the South Bay, right? I mean, there's just so many places that we can go for fresh seafood.
I know, like just living like close to the coast and having fresh seafood available. At the farmers market, they have a seafood stand there.
Yes.
And I love getting my seafood there. They're so fresh.
Yeah, yet another option for buying your seafood. No, really good stuff. And your family big fans of the shrimp?
Yes, we love shrimp.
Your kids good with it?
Yes, but we don't eat it often. It's personal preference, but we, for the most part, we do love shrimp.
Yeah.
We treat it like a treat.
Okay, fair enough.
So this is almost done cooking.
Yeah,
So
pretty
we're
much.
gonna
You
go
got
ahead.
a couple more pieces there, a little bit.
Yeah.
Need a little bit of cooking, I can see.
I'll just press it down just a little bit. But you see some of these curled up. You can just go ahead and orange. You can just go ahead and
Right, just put them. I got
Yeah.
you a plate here.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right.
See how they curled up just like
Well,
that?
we're getting close to eating, aren't we?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna clean up here and assemble some plates of food, and we're gonna do some eating, some chowing down on this because it smells good and I'm getting hungry. All right.
Sounds good to me.
We'll see you back here in 60 seconds.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. With me today is Michelle Ibarrientos and a couple of very delicious looking and smelling plates of food. We have been concentrating today on making healthier versions of some classic Filipino dishes, correct?
Correct.
And here we made, instead of Pancit Bihon, we made Pancit Zihon.
Yes, made with zucchini noodles.
Instead of the traditional rice noodles,
Yeah.
correct? So that lightened it up. And as well as like not a lot of fat or sodium in this dish either.
No, there isn't because I used coconut aminos instead of using soy sauce.
Right.
And it's very light on sodium.
Right. And then here we have our garlic shrimp, and instead of using gobs of butter, we replace that with
Coconut oil.
coconut oil, right. And I've got it all plated up here. I'm going to give this a little squirt of lemon because seafood and veggies always taste great with a little lemon on it. And time to give this a taste. I'm going to go in on the shrimp first. How about that?
Sounds good.
Let's see here. So good. First of all, they're cooked perfectly.
Great.
Because you didn't overcook them. We talked about that. And the coconut comes through. And that's really, really nice. And got a nice garlicky bite to it. Nothing too crazy, too strong, but it is there. That's really good. Now, for our Pancit Zihon. All right.
Okay.
Oh my. That is a winner. Right? I can't think of something that I wouldn't want to eat that with.
Yeah, you can eat it with anything you want.
I mean, the vegetables have just an awesome texture to it. All of the flavors, that little bit of the fish sauce, the coconut, the coconut aminos, all of that's coming through, but it is just really light and fresh, and it's delightful. Like I said, I can't imagine anything that I would not want to eat that with.
Oh, yeah, and you have everything on one plate already.
Right? We're good to go.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and you know what? Hit up the farmer's market. Make this meal. You will not regret it. And it just goes to show you that some of the best chefs are right here in our own community. Thanks for watching Community Cooking. We'll see you next time. I'm going back in.
Whew, yay.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200 in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.